Welcome back to the channel, guys. Moto Off-Road Adventures. Today we're going to talk about something that you do want to change immediately. Stop doing something, start doing something. Going to get you a lot more comfortable off-road, build those skills, but most importantly going to make you a safer rider. We all have to make these changes, including myself, so let's get that covered. So if you've been following the channel, I am a new adventure rider. About 6 months ago, I had never ridden a motorcycle. What are you gonna do? Bought Draven here, my 22 Himalayan, and we hit it hard. I love this stuff, man. We're well over 5,000 miles now adventure riding. Good bit of that, over half of it, strict off-road on things like the Smoky Mountain 500, the South Carolina Adventure Route known as the SCAR, the Trans-America Route, the Trans-American Trail, let me try that again, the Tats, the Appalachian Mountains backcountry, the Blue Ridge Mountain backcountry, so on and so forth. You can go back, watch my adventures, they have been a riot. But 6 months ago, I was a new rider as well, but let's talk about something we should change, and it is very important. The big change here, let's talk about it, is foot placement. Foot placement is a huge difference. I've changed my foot placement and made a world of difference for me. I'll pop a little video up here below when I was in the Francis Marion National Forest for an overnighter adventure and hit an extremely rough bump. I thought I had my riding stance correct. I was definitely loose, but I was not on the balls of my feet. I was on the back arches. All right, that was a good spot. That was fun and crazy. Probably the hardest bump I've taken. Threw me forward. Luckily, tip number one on this channel is always underride your skills if you're newer in building, never override them. So I was fine. Stayed on the bike, thank goodness, but definitely got a jolt forward and had to regroup pretty hard. And that would be fixed by staying on the balls of your feet. Let me kind of describe what I mean there. Don't worry about how dirty the bike is. I just got off an amazing adventure myself. I will clean it up soon, but back to foot placement. So when I talk about that, when you're transferring that weightless rider, like you mentioned up there, get your arms out, elbows out, contact the bike with your knees, and you can get around corners, those type of things. Ride it smoothly and weightless. When you feel that, it is amazing. How is that done? A lot of times I was finding that I had to do a lot of changes to get around corners to make that contact. For many different reasons I mentioned, this is what we want to change. Change it now. Test it, practice it, have fun with it. Your skills are going to skyrocket, a lot safer. You can make changes down the line once you've been riding for years, and that's foot placement. I'll grab the right boot. These are my boots. I use a motocross series boot just for that security. No movement and a lot. You can use whatever you want. I recommend a very high quality moto boot, save you from those lower leg injuries. So here is the heel placement. You can see some rocking there, and I'll go through both. And here is that ball of the foot. The major differences I want to go through. This is what we all need to change. I changed a little over 1,000 miles ago and have seen stunning differences. Now, if you have your ball of the foot in place, it's a little bit easier to go pigeon-toed like this. You get flat, gonna do a little pigeon toe, very soft pigeon toe, and it'll contact your knees to your bike. When you're riding off-road and you want to be ready for any surface changes, slippery surfaces, sandy surfaces, or around corners, you're already in position to lean that bike, move that bike, and counterbalance that properly if you're standing, as I mentioned. So first big thing, this is everything you want to change right here. This is so important, and we'll talk about why, but it's going to give you an easier way to contact the bike there. Let's talk about safety first, because there's a lot of benefits to this that'll make you a better rider, more comfortable, but safety is the most important. So when you're riding like this, you're gonna have less foot fatigue because you're not always trying to engage your ankle. And here, when you're balancing on the bike, you're hitting bumps, your ankle is engaged, and you're gonna get a little forward motion and backward motion naturally out of that. Fatigue is one thing. It's nice not to have it, but the better rider you are, the less leg and foot fatigue you'll feel. But that's the side effect there. The main thing is here on the video that I mentioned earlier, and I'll link it below, a while back I did hit probably my roughest bump off road. I was in a good standing position, so I made it through it. I do not override my skills, but I hit a very big out of nowhere water rut in the road, and it did, because I was in the ankle position, kind of throw me forward. I did hit the handlebars pretty hard. I stayed on the bike, I was fine. But if you transfer that weight backwards, your heel is not engaged, and now you control your backwards and forwards weight of your body very quickly without replacing your foot. Secondary thing, which I run into a couple times on the Trans-America Trail, going down some very steep, rocky area. This was a good bit ago now. I did 300 miles of the Trans-America Trail in my first month of touching a bike, which can be crazy, but fun. Just be safe. Safety first, guys. With a little bit more of a heel placement there, right in the middle of the foot coming down. You can transfer your weight back, but when I do that, the heel engages, and I was hitting my brake. So really, without knowing, I can feel it engaging occasionally on the steeper stuff, but I was hitting my brake, disrupting the ride, skidding out a little bit, and had some additional issues there. So we have where your body is on the bike, number 1. You might accidentally engage the controls, your brake and clutch, number 2, which is never good. The opposite side of that, on where were we? The Appalachian Mountains, back in, must have been July, going up a steep hill. I'd hit a really rough bump, and I didn't know what happened at the time, but again, riding on my heel, it threw my body weight forward. Here you can control your body weights. Here your ankle engages too much, so you can control it, but your ankle is always gonna win, and I engaged my clutch. Very steep hill from second gear, which is what I'm comfortable going up that in Draven here, went to neutral. Attempted to fix that situation, get it back down to first and throttle out of it, but I did lay down the bike. Luckily it was sandy, so a nice soft landing, but it's simply because I was way up front on the foot, came down on that clutch. So we have 2 is engaging your controls, but number 3, possibly the most important, not really a change in rider skills, comfort of riding, or how much you can just demand that bike when you're riding on the ball of your foot, is riding forward. I mentioned that pigeon, that might come out a little bit, and when your foot comes out, you're more possible of, if you're riding on single track or in the woods, a tree grabbing that foot, which can grab it. At a minimum case, it is going to grab it off the control. You're going to lose balance a little bit, have to recover. Maybe not the end of the world. Maybe you drop the bike. Again, these things, adventure bikes are going to get dropped. However, if it catches that foot and spins it hard, that's where people are having a lot of ankle issues. You can break your foot bone, fracture your ankle. You do not want anything grabbing, or down here, when you're riding with all that force forward, you're going to have something that is grabbing your toe and pulling that underneath. A friend of mine not too long ago, about 2 months ago, was riding and did actually have a rock grab his foot because he was foot forward, and it did break his foot. Something that nobody wants to do. Again, as a new adventure rider, some of these small things are outstandingly important, and we need to make the change now. Safety, broken feet, broken legs, broken toes is the main thing, but gaining those skills, feeling more comfortable. The last 1,000 miles, I think, of off-road riding, I felt so much more in control of the bike since making this change. So again, number 1, contact with the bike, pigeon-toed in. Number 2, no contacting those controls, having issues with the controls. No ankle to engage to throw you back and forth. That will really, riders, when you get out there and you switch to the ball of the foot, just that, how much more control it feels of the bike in those wet surfaces, sandy surfaces, and around questionable corners is the major difference. You're gonna feel that right away because you automatically are in contact with the bike. As I'm going down, I see my knees on some of my videos out, my earlier videos out just a little bit. This is gonna make them contacting with the bike. Major difference. It could be a safety issue and a riding issue. And let's talk a little bit more about wedging yourself into the bike just for controls a little bit. I'll show you what I mean there. All right, so you can see my foot placement there as I'm getting into riding. Naturally, when you're on the ball of the foot here, it's so easy. There's no movement, and I'm twisting my toe. It's automatically kind of contacting the bike itself, which is making a world of difference. When I come here, you can see that foot spans out and is a lot looser. Ball of foot in, and I'll show you the difference what that's creating. All right, you can see I don't have my boots on, so you can see a little bit more of the foot movement there. But just by bringing my foot in about 1 inch, you can see my knee is automatically on the tank there. A world of difference for control. Before, when I was riding in my first 1,000 miles with my foot placement, up here you can see on the ball, you know what? Yeah, I did actually engage my brakes a little bit, but they're also away. So when I came to the corner, I had to adjust, make a quick adjustment. When you are on the ball of the foot, pointing that in just a little bit, you are always engaged. So you're always in that weightless rider. You're always moving forward, and without any difference, I automatically have the bike engaged, which will make a huge difference for you, I absolutely promise. The main thing also with the ball of your foot, my upper leg, you can see how that is straighter, whether I'm forward, whether I'm coming back, forward, back. Again, fatigue. Fatigue can make a world of difference if you're riding for hours on end out in the wilderness, which I've been doing. Your foot and leg feel a lot better, and this, if you're up here to really move back, you're getting a little bend. You want to keep that bend out as much as possible. In, and you're just moving forward and backwards. It is natural. Get that weightless rider, knees intact, a world of difference. Safety-wise, if you want to drop that heel, unlike if you're up here and you drop that toe, no issues. But you can get a little less fatigue if you drop that heel. It's in the natural motion of the bike, and when you drop your heel, it is almost flat. You're not actually dropping it down, but you're always in contact with that bike, guys. So I cannot recommend this enough. Next time you're out on a joyride, hit a dirt road, go off roads. For those newer riders out there, make this change immediately. Even if you don't have the safety in mind, you're gonna feel more contact and more as one with your bike. Your skills will change dramatically. Your comfort level will change dramatically. On the safety side, I'm not one of those. It'll never happen to me, guys. I'm always thinking about safety. At this point, even 6 months in and over 1,000 miles a month of off-road, always thinking about underdriving my skills and building my talent, which is a big thing. I'll keep saying that and saying that and saying that. Underride your skills, get better, improve, and practice. Practice, practice. If you're out riding with friends and they are more long-term riders, been off-road for forever, if they're more advanced than you, don't feel the need to keep up. Get out there, ride with them, enjoy the day, enjoy yourself, have fun. This sport's all about having fun and not getting injured. You don't have to keep up with your friends, guys. Do your own thing, build your skills. This is gonna make a dramatic change for you, and in the end, it's gonna get you a safer rider as well. Practice your stance, foot placement, foot placement, foot placement. I have a few things. I mean, I just dove in. I hit practicing and studying really hard in the beginning. And I wish this is something I would have known right away. If I can pop a video up here, or I'll put below, on an epic ride through the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're at a place called Linville Gorge Wilderness. We rode through there and did about 180 miles of the Tat and back down through the Linville Gorge. We found this very cool little camp spot dug into the woods. I'll see if I can clip that in right here at the very end when you see the camera shift real quick, and then luckily I whispered underneath my breath, but a couple curse words there. That surprised me. That shift and that camera back then was my foot coming in contact with a rock that I didn't see in that brush, and it shifted my whole body. And that's a big deal. Couple things came into play there. I was not overriding my skills. I was making sure I was comfortable with my speed going through that area. Number two, I put a lot of effort into picking the proper boots. Lower leg injuries is a big deal out there when you're adventure riding, and I'm newer. I wanted to protect myself, so I went with what I call the squeakers. You've seen enough videos, you know what I mean. I'm gonna fix that squeak, but the Alpine Stars Tech 3 is a great boot. So it hit it hard. The swear words were, the cuss words there, I was trying to analyze what just happened to my foot. Nothing did when I got back. But also, again, that was my earlier days when I had my riding stance correct, but I was not wedged with the bike. I wasn't one with the bike. So my feet were more towards the heel position and my legs had more play. Back then I was also feeling me getting jolted from the front to the back of the bike more. As a weightless rider, side to side, I felt like I was nailing it. Front to back, I felt like I was missing just a little something. That little something was foot placement. So I could have injured my foot there. Luckily, the other components were fine, and I won't repeat that with the proper foot placement. So learn from me, 6 months of adventures, new riders. Again, like I end every video, just say yes, get out there, have some fun, go ride, you'll grow with the sport. This is amazing. Say yes to camping. And I got a camping video here I'll pop up below about my gear, how to pack it. Just get out there, have some fun. But practice, underride your skills, and let's all grow together, guys. This is amazing. We're still trying to schedule our Smoky Mountain 500. It's gotten a little late in the year, so it's going to be in the spring. And our TAT, Trans-America Trail, the full ride. I'm going to put this Hemi to its test next year. So thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Any questions, comments? If you're an advanced rider, if you've been out here for decades, years off-road riding, put some comments below. I'm always ready to learn. I've been attacking some really good people, I think. Brett Tracks online here on YouTube, he has some really good knowledge base. I take that and I practice it and try to get better, but I'm always looking for information. Comment below if this helped, if you have questions, anything I could do better. We're out here learning, guys. Until next time, keep adventuring and enjoy yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the little bell, you know, bing. We'll see you on the next adventure coming soon.